in dysfunctional. Each and every weekday morning, the Pat and Aaron Show.
Is it a little too early for being that loud?
Good morning, Tampa Bay.
And here we go.
Now your hosts, Pat Donovan and Aaron Jacobson.
Good morning, goons. Welcome to the Pat and Aaron Show, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620, coming to you live on a Waechter Wednesday. After
back.
a few weeks, we have the return of Doug Waechter. I texted him yesterday, Aaron. I said, do we get our Waechter fix tomorrow? And he said, I'm in. I'm in tomorrow. So, yeah, we get our Waechter fix today.
You know who I'm texting at 7 a.m. on the dot, right?
Ken Hagan.
Yeah, take the raise.
Yeah, take the raise. Well, he's
Every
going to
day.
probably have to. I don't know how the hell he's going to do it because I don't know what's changed since they couldn't figure it out the last time.
They were meeting apparently yesterday.
But there's going to be a meeting today. And in my opinion, you might as well just throw the whole thing out the window in Pinellas. You might as well just throw it out the window in St. Pete because these idiot politicians, they're going to blow this whole thing up. And I'm not going to blame the Rays for it, all right? I'm not. I'm going to blame these idiot politicians.
You won't have to blame the Rays if the politicians are the one to blow it up, and I think the Rays are counting on that.
Yeah, well, they're about to. So we've already known the votes may not be there, probably won't be there with the changes to the county commission. And one of the new Pinellas County commissioners is going to meet apparently with the Rays today. And his take is one that right up there with Chris Latvala, who's already pissed the Rays off, and the rest of us, at least a lot of us. This Vince Nowicki is right there. I mean, you might throw him up there with Vince Nomoli one day, with notorious Vinces in Tampa Bay that really screwed stuff up, because we know what Nomoli did. Some of the stories I've heard about that knucklehead. But Vince Nowicki, he's got an idea, and it's a stupid one.
You've been going after the county commissioners, man.
Well, I'm sorry when they do stupid stuff.
Who do you hate more, Latvala
Yes.
or Nowicki?
Yeah.
Whose face do you not like the most?
You know what? Whoever votes against our ballpark, and I've said it before, I am not an unbiased journalist, all right? There's a lot of people doing this stuff with journalistic integrity, not me.
I'm biased, too. I look at people's faces, and I can't trust that face.
Well, you know what? I kind of don't dislike Vince Nowicki's face.
You like his
All right?
face? That's something I would say.
I'm not going to lie to you. Vince Nowicki looks like a dude I'd probably hang out with, but I wouldn't based on what I know about him, which is very little, by the way.
He's wearing a cutoff sweater vest.
Like I said, he looks like an all right dude.
Like, who's wearing a cutoff sweater
Well,
vest?
listen, he's a politician. You know what I mean?
I
You
mean,
can't-
right then and
Not
there,
a lot
I
of
wouldn't trust him alone.
Not a lot of politicians look as cool as the hitman Ken Hagan. You know
He's
what I
wearing
mean?
a button down with a cutoff sweater vest with the sleeves cut off. And I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this. I hope he doesn't come after me. I don't know if he needs to wear those glasses.
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah.
Faux glasses.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Wow!
If you had to say someone looked like somebody who would be wearing glasses when they don't actually need to wear prescription
Vince Nowicki?
glasses, like I would go as far to say those aren't even prescription.
He's wearing them just to look like a pain in the ass, which he's about to be.
It's maybe what it is.
Yeah, Vince Nowicki.
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 He's Dirk now.
Yeah, I wish he was Dirk. He'd probably vote for the ballpark, the jerk. Vince Nowicki, he is going to meet with the Rays today, and here's his brilliant idea to save the Rays ballpark. He wants to renegotiate the deal. He wants to start over from scratch.
Yep.
And maybe that's not fair. Maybe it's not necessarily start over from scratch, but he wants to change the deal that's already in place. The deal that the Rays have been told was going to get pushed through. The deal that the Rays were told was a formality. The deal that we all celebrated with the Here to Stay banners and everything else that you all showed up for. Probably Nowicki was probably there in the crowd thinking about how he was going to screw the whole thing up. Him and Latvala. The hell is wrong with you guys?
This is something very predictable for a sleeveless sweater vest type of guy.
Good God.
Very predictable for potential faux glasses kind of guy.
I'm sure Brian Ald and Matt Silverman are super interested in renegotiation. By the way, Nowicki looks like he's 28.
You walk in there looking like you're 28 with faux glasses and a cutoff sweater vest. They're not going to renegotiate anything with you. Why? I wouldn't.
Imagine being Brian Ald This 28-year-old gets elected to office and is like, hey, excuse me, let me come blow up your whole ballpark.
Yeah, like he walks in there with a little kombucha, and he's like, hey, let's redo the whole deal.
I'm telling you, I hope to dear God, whichever one up there is the right one. Whichever one is the right one. I hope to that one.
Whichever one's helping Jameis not throw pick sixes. Actually, the other one.
Where's the clip, Casey, from yesterday? Whichever one up there is the right one. I hope to dear God, if these idiots blow up our ballpark deal.
Help me, Juice
Yeah.
God! Help me, Allah!
All of
Help
you.
me, Tom Cruise!
Good article from John Romano in the Times. He says the Rays need a miracle and a hero, and you're right, or a god. We might need a god, but I mean, Brian Alden, 28-year-old Chris Nowicki walks in. Vince Nowicki. I don't even get his name right.
Vince, I want
And
to
he's
find
going to
out.
blow up the whole thing. And he's probably not. He's probably not 28. He's probably just a great-looking 45, the son of a bitch. All right? I hate him for so many
You
reasons.
sound like me, man.
Well, look, if he's 45, he does look great, all right? Let's be honest. Certainly better than me at 47 now.
He's probably in his 40s, but either way,
jerk.
I mean, it's just bizarre. The whole thing is bizarre, and it's back and forth of who I think is most at fault, and then like,
I hope this puts you on the right side now.
well, you've got Lavala who does his thing, and then you've got Nowicki now who's like, hold my beer, I got this.
We should call this guy Latvala Light.
Maybe he saw that what Lavala was doing. He's like, I want to be that guy. I don't know. It's very confusing. I have no idea where this thing's going to go. I have to assume.
I want to be a fly on the wall for that meeting.
I have to assume later in the month when they have the official vote, it's not going to go in favor of them getting the bonds here for the stadium. I just don't see how it could be. Right now, Nowicki's a no vote. Lavala's a no vote. There's no votes all across the board. I just don't see it. I'm not with these people, and I don't know what can sway them.
By the way, interestingly, I can't find anything on this on the Tampa Bay Times or most places. Great reporting by Josh Rojas over at Bay News 9, because he's the one who's got this story, and he's got quotes from Vince Nowicki. And he says, I know behind closed doors there's conversations taking place. It doesn't really faze me. But, I'm working to get a yes. So he's saying he wants a yes. He wants the ballpark to work out. He just wants to completely start over from scratch, which obviously is not going to happen. And he went on to say, I don't think we've looked through the lens of putting residents first. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to truly be representing the residents, to make sure the residents get a fair deal. What this sounds like to me is 28-year-old Vince Nowicki got this job, won this election somehow, and said, you know what? It's nice the Rays are getting a ballpark, but my fingerprints aren't on this thing at all. I need to make sure that my fingerprints are on this. I need to make sure that my legacy is built on helping this ballpark happen. So I'm going to blow the whole thing up so it can be the Vince Nowicki idea.
I don't know him now. I don't know him at all, so I don't know if that's what he's thinking. Yeah, he's a who. Like, I think you are onto something of him and there's the other newly elected commissioner, Chris Scherer, who there is something to be said about a politician getting on the scene and wanting to cause a stir, wanting to show constituents like, I got some power here and I'm gonna do what I can for you. I just don't know.
What a hero.
Listen, but like Pat, to be quite honest, I don't know if he's reading the room correctly or incorrectly. And what I mean by that is, you and I, we're sports fans, man. We want a stadium. We want a beautiful stadium. I want to go eat hot dogs and pound beer and watch baseball and hopefully some playoff baseball and maybe a World Series and an All-Star game and do it in an awesome stadium and in a cool environment. And then there are people that aren't.
Is Casey Warner wearing off on you?
What do you mean?
You want to pound beer?
Oh yeah, dude. I want to pound.
Talking about
beer.
doing a lot of drinking last weekend or the weekend before, whenever it was. You were like, yeah, I was drinking a lot.
Yeah,
right?
Listen, I've been. You go to a ball game. You know my routine. It's coffee, beer, and hot dogs.
The 999 challenge.
Yeah, I can't get through that. That one's you'll have to roll me out of there. But yeah, I want to do that, man. I want to go to the ballpark. And there are people, Pat, that aren't like that. That aren't like us, and they don't care about baseball. I think they're crazy people.
Screw those people.
I think they should be checked out in the brain.
I've said before, I know that I'm biased. I know that I'm a big fat sports ogre, and I just want my sports, right? Like, that is an absolute fact. So I'm not necessarily thinking of everyone with this thing. But at the same time, I do. I hope that guys like Latvala, guys like Nowicki never get another vote. Never get another vote if they blow this thing up. If you cost us baseball, I hope your political career is absolutely ruined by this.
You ready to listen? This has been miserable for so many people. Let's turn it into something, an activity for us. Should we go?
Pick it?
Should we pick it? You know me so well, man. You know me so. Like before the show, I did something to you that you're like, you know me so well.
Yeah.
This is one of those moments where you're like, yeah, we've been working together for a decade.
Our picket would be fun too. Like we'd have the Goon Squad picket line.
It would be hilarious.
We'd be wild.
And if somebody got arrested that was a goon, it'd be great.
Do you know who Dave Cyrus? I don't. Damn it.
You don't even know who he is.
So I did an interview with him back when I was like just doing podcasts here, like when I couldn't even get on the air yet, right? I interviewed this guy. He used to do interviews with the Westboro Baptist Church. Remember those people?
They were wild.
Yeah, he would show up to interview them, and his microphones would be unique. And to say that they weren't necessarily microphones.
I can tell exactly what they
You know
were.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Was it similar to the thing that Warren Sapp would send to people and say they was cute?
Yeah, but they weren't as cute because they were much bigger.
Oh.
Right? They were much bigger. Much more microphone sized. You know what I mean? And he would just walk up and like interview them.
Did they know?
Well, eventually they'd figure it out and get pissed off, but sometimes they'd just be like answering questions into it. It was
Did they ever go to grab the mic or what they thought was the mic?
And then, yes. And then at times they would like notice what it is and get pissed and like hit it or like yell at him and be like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like it was really funny.
Great.
It was great. I'll have to find some of his stuff. We're still like Facebook friends or whatever the hell it is. But yeah, well, that's what we should do to Latvala and Nowicki is interview them with the same kind of microphones.
Yeah,
is that fair?
I'll leave that to you. You can handle that if you want to.
Me and Warren Sapp together?
Yeah, you bring on Warren for that one.
Be like, Warren, I'm going to get you into the media. Come with me.
Yeah, you think that was cute. My mom is listening from London right now.
No way.
Yeah, she's just flying in right now. She just texted me. She's on the plane. She's listening.
The plane?
Yeah, she's going to be land in London in 15 minutes, which shows me the power of the iHeartRadio app. You can stream it if you don't have it. Make sure you download it because even if you're going out of the country, you can listen to us wherever you go.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's
iHeartRadio
really
is
cool.
really cool, dude.
But on a plane even.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Not snakes on a plane, iHeart on a plane.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Much safer than snakes on a plane. Is that fair?
Unless you're listening to this show.
Well, I mean, no, still safer than snakes. Snakes are very, very dangerous. I actually love snakes. They're pretty cool. My aunt used to have a pet store. My aunt that I showed you is on the Tampa Bay Times. She had a pet store, and I used to play with giant snakes.
Pet store?
Yes.
You've had an interesting life. And
yet, you have no idea.
As much as I say I know you so well, I still learn new things about you all the time.
Well, listen, did you know that I bought my wife some diamond hoop earrings recently?
That I did know.
I did that, yeah.
And I know where you're going because you're a smart man.
Well, not where I will be going, but where I already went. Yeah, we went to International Diamond Center, and listen, if you're trying to make this an unforgettable Christmas, you want to do the same thing. You want to go to International Diamond Center. They're your destination for that home run gift. IDC showcases right now, they are fully stocked with all the classics as well as the latest one-of-a-kind fashion jewelry from world-class designers. Unique, handcrafted items you're not going to find anywhere else, not locally, not anywhere around here. You can find rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, watches, you name it, dazzling diamonds, precious gemstones, Italian gold. They have it all, even those beautiful Rolexes.
That's right. And listen, you got the non-commission experts at IDC. And what does that mean? Why do I tell you that? Because they're not salespeople. And that's important because they're not going to come in. They're not looking to get a commission off of the sale they're going to make you. They're not going to be breathing down your neck. They're going to respect what you want to do and what you're looking for, and they'll respect your price range, and they'll work through it with you. And, hey, if you just want to look around, which I've done that before, too. I've gone in, and they're so nice. They come up, they want to help you. And I said, nah, I'm just going to look around a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. They just want to make sure you're comfortable and you get what you're looking for. And you're going to get the unbeatable value price that International Diamond Center is known for. Plus, spread your payments over 5 years, 0 interest. And Basically, pick virtually any item and divide your price by 60. That's your payment. $6,000 ring or pair of earrings, that's just $100 a month. This year, give the gift that sends the message of love like nothing else. A meaningful and memorable piece of jewelry from International Diamond Center. They're going to take care of you, and you're going to get that headliner gift for the season. Official jeweler of the Gators, International Diamond Center, Tampa, Clearwater, Lakeland, and Sarasota. More details at shopidc.com.
Get the headlines Casey Warner is known for. Today's top headlines is next.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
From the
Mark Spain Real Estate. Get a guaranteed offer in your home today and just start packing. Casey Warner, give us guaranteed top headlines.
Guaranteed are several teams in the college football playoff, but there are not guaranteed several teams as well. I will go ahead and list off our latest college football playoff ranking that was released last night. The number 1 seed Oregon, who is undefeated. They've been that number 1 seed the past 5 weeks. Texas coming in as the projected 2 seed. The projected 3 seed SMU, who currently leads the ACC. And the projected 4 seed, the 4th highest ranked conference champion. That is Boise State at 11-1. Here are the rest of the teams. Playing in the first round, we would have Penn State at the number 5 seed. Notre Dame is the number 6 seed. Georgia is the number 7 seed. Ohio State as the number 8 seed, Tennessee as the number 9, Indiana as number 10, Alabama as number 11, and 15th ranked Arizona hopping into that number 12 seed.
Arizona State.
Arizona State, yes. Thank you for the correction. Arizona State, who is the Big 12 highest team right now.
I listen, everything there, I'm actually fine with except Alabama. But then again, if Alabama's not in...
Are you surprised, though?
No, we talked about it with Nick Wise yesterday. If you missed that iHeartRadio app, it's free. Check out the podcast. There is no surprise because it's Alabama. It's honestly BS. And I don't know. I don't think Miami should get in either. Even though Miami's losses are closer, you laid an egg. You lost 2 out of 3, and you lost to Syracuse. You shouldn't have lost that game. So I don't know who I would have in there instead of Alabama.
That was going to be my next question. If not Alabama, then who?
I'm
Ole Miss?
No, I know. I'm struggling with that because like South Carolina's playing much better. Like to me, it's what have you done? If you have the same record, what have you done lately? Strength of schedule. I think the Georgia win
You think
for
South
Alabama.
Carolina beats Alabama if they go head to head?
Right now, I don't trust Alabama at all. Yeah, I think it's quite possible. Yes,
I like South Carolina over Bama.
Very impressed with what South Carolina's been able to do. Very impressed.
And where it gets really dicey is if on Friday UNLV beats Boise State, they become the Mountain West champion. And then if Clemson defeats SMU on Saturday, they become the ACC champion. And then absolute mayhem could occur.
And if Georgia would have lost, crazy mayhem. I'd put Iowa State in just for Rocco Becht. That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. Conference championship games Friday and Saturday. A couple of those, like I just said, are going to have big implications on those games. Can't wait to see how that final playoff ranking turns out. And in bowl
it's going to be
news,
a great weekend of college football for sure.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about doing almost half and half for Pick'em.
I agree with that.
Do
I would
it.
totally be down for
I
that.
dare you. You won't.
I dare you.
I'll just extend my lead even more.
They should put Army in, man. If Army would have beat Notre Dame, they'd be in.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Well,
and
they'd be undefeated if they beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
right.
They should be in.
And in college football bowl news, South Florida and San Jose State have both accepted their bids to the Hawaii Bowl on Christmas Eve. That is in Honolulu, Hawaii at 8 p.m. It is San Jose's second straight appearance in the Hawaii Bowl, South Florida's first ever appearance in the Hawaii Bowl. Alex Golish and the Bulls get in at 6-6.
If you're not going to like a major bowl game, going to Hawaii is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you're not going to a great bowl game, yeah, I'll take Hawaii over one that's like a little bit more prestige to it, but like is somewhere that's not fun to go. At least like I would, as a college kid, there's a lot of these, although nowadays a little different, right? But a lot of these kids wouldn't be able to go to Hawaii.
Hawaii was awesome. I've been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
awesome.
not, where have you not been?
I'm very lucky.
This
I've been a lot of
Caribbean, we
places.
talked about that. The Caribbean is where you haven't been.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I'm a little down on USF. I needed
it was
them
a
to
bad
win.
loss.
I needed them to win in a parlay. You lose to Rice.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, of course
Yeah.
that's why. Of course that's why.
Couldn't just because they lost to Rice.
I trusted them. It's the one time the last couple weeks when they started to win, I wasn't betting them, and then they looked good. So I'm like, they're gonna get the win for Coach Golish against Rice. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of getting wins for people, another win for Amir Abdur-Rahim. Rest in peace for the South Florida Bulls men's basketball team. 74-72 at home yesterday. They snuck out a win over 1-7 Stetson, but hey, a win is a win, led by Jaden Reed. He had 23 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists.
They're just going
Bulls.
on, man. They're going on
Yeah.
that. They're just fighting for. I have to imagine all that emotion with your head coach and a guy who's so revered in the area passing away just before the season starting. I mean, it was just crazy situation and so sad.
Yeah, it was shocking, and I can't imagine what that team is going through on a game-by-game basis, because it's there's always going to be reminders. And that's today's top headlines, brought to you by Mark Spain Real Estate. Get a guaranteed offer on your home today at markspain.com, and then just start packing. And then when you get to your new home, you celebrate. You celebrate by cooking yourself some delicious meat. And right now, Meat and Bone, I've been telling you about them for a while. Got to see a handful of you goons out at Meat and Bone last weekend, or maybe it was the weekend before. Time's flying. Get over to Meat and Bone. There's a lot of great holiday gifts as well. They have where you can get the subscription box for a couple of months as well, which is an unbelievable deal. So if you know somebody in your family that you want to get a great gift for and they love meat, think about that subscription box. But get over there, try the Wagyu. I'm telling Aaron, I've got the Wagyu picanha at home, getting ready to make it soon. I'm going to bring Aaron over for it.
Yeah, we talked about it we were driving home yesterday, and we were talking on the phone, and we were talking about like how I was telling you how my brother likes to eat just straight fat from steak, and you're like, the picanha has a little fat. I was like, yeah, I like a little strip with the meat.
Yeah,
and you're like, yeah, but if you put it in beans too, and then we just went off on a tangent.
We did. We went off on a tangent, and I can go off on a tangent on all the unbelievable meats you can find at Meat and Bone, because they really do bring it in from all over the world, the best you can find. That's why they're the top provider one of the top providers of Wagyu in the entire country. So if you haven't been yet, I'm telling you, go check them out. They're right there on Kennedy, right near Dale Mabry. Check them out, and you will be very, very impressed. Everybody I know that's gone has been really impressed with everything they've gotten there, from the meat to the chimichurri, you name it. It is delicious. Meatandbone.com. Find out about free delivery, but check them out. They know Miguel over there and the staff over there. They know a lot about all the products. They can tell you how to cook it if you get something that's a little bit rare, and because they've got all kinds of stuff. Meatandbone.com for free delivery, or Meat and Bone on Kennedy Boulevard. Go check them out. When we return, MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred has an idea to change baseball that will make us ask, is it the worst idea in the history of sports, or is it the worst idea in the history of ideas?
Tampa Bay Sports Radio, 95.3 W.
Pat Aaron, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Aaron, you were out of the room when I did the tease for this, but I said that we would ask the question, does Rob Manfred have the worst idea in the history of sports, or does Rob Manfred have the worst idea in the history of ideas?
I'm going to go with the first one, if anything. I don't know if it's the worst idea in the history of sports. I think what you're about to say,
it might be.
What you're about to reveal is the worst idea in the history of baseball.
There's a lot of booze, huh?
But not sports.
And I think, but probably not sports. I'd have to look back. But also, I would have to imagine that Major League Baseball commissioners that have passed away would be just in utter disbelief at some of these suggestions.
Would they be rolling over in their graves?
I didn't want to use the cliche.
Why? It's a great cliche.
And I don't think it's fair to the dead.
Why?
They're rolling over in their graves. It's like,
I would like to think that if I were dead, I could roll around in my grave. Like I wouldn't be just stuck there bored.
We've said rest in peace to these people so many times that them rolling around is not peaceful.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
Well, that's why you can't have Rob Manfred throwing around cockamamie ideas that make them roll around in their grave. And when we talk about cockamamie ideas, this one takes the stupid extra innings rule and blows it out of the water. If you think the extra innings rule is Bush League, and by the way, I do, this thing is significantly more Bush League than that.
And if you don't know the extra inning rule, it's a runner on second base to start the inning no matter what.
So Rob Manfred, and by the way, he claims there is buzz. He says there is buzz from owners about the potential of a rule that would be called the Golden Bat Rule. And you might ask yourself, well, what is the Golden Bat Rule?
Golden At Bat.
Sorry, yes, the Golden At Bat. Well, what the Golden At Bat would be is the dumbest idea in the history of sports, and maybe the dumbest idea in the history of ideas. What it would be is you could, at any moment in any game, in a crucial moment, you could decide to take any batter on your team. Obviously, you would take your best batter, although you might do a matchup thing, righty, lefty, righty, whatever. But more times than not, everyone's just going to take their best hitter and put them up at the plate, regardless of where you are in the lineup, regardless of if that guy just was at bat the inning before, whatever it is. You could put Aaron Judge. The Yankees could say it's the seventh inning, the bases are loaded, we feel like this is our moment to take advantage. It wouldn't even have to be that you have to wait till the ninth inning. Although apparently it's being bounced around with like different ideas. I saw that Jason Stark reported, Aaron, that there's one train of thought that maybe you should only allow a team that is trailing to use the Golden At Bat.
It's all stupid.
Regardless of how you try to implement this, it is the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
What do you do if, let's say Aaron Judge, you're using him as an example. He just got a base hit. He's on first base. Bases are loaded. You want to use Judge again. Do you get an automatic pinch runner?
Yeah, man.
I think there's variations of this. I think you have to say no. If they're on base, you can't use them. But then again, it takes away from the Golden At Bat.
No, you know what you do? You just don't do it at all because this is the worst idea ever.
You know it's not his idea. You know who uses this. You know who he basically lifted this from.
Is this the Savannah Bananas?
This is the Savannah Bananas.
Oh, wow.
This is the Savannah Bananas, who are essentially baseball's version of the Harlem Globetrotters.
I was just going to say, let's throw on a Harlem Globetrotters game and start pitching ideas to the NBA on how to screw that league up even more.
Imagine if the NBA was taking stuff from the Harlem Globetrotters.
You remember? You don't remember. People my age will remember when MTV did a thing called Rock and Jock. You probably don't remember.
I've heard of Rock and Jock.
So
I don't remember it, though.
Well, the basketball Rock and Jock, I think it was like the final minute or something of each half or of each quarter, whatever it was. There was a second basket that was like 5 feet higher than the other basket that would come out like on a lever, and it would come up above, and then you could hit that basket for like 25 points.
Don't need that.
And this is what that feels like.
So the Savannah Bananas have pointed out, they were talking about the rule, and they went back to the 2023 World Baseball Classic Championship game where Shohei Ohtani struck out Mike Trout. At the time, Mike Trout, still battling injuries, but he's one of the best baseball players of all time, Shohei in his prime. They said at the time, the Savannah Bananas, with the Golden Batter rule, these insane matchups are guaranteed in each and every banana ball game. So I don't know if Rob Manfred's taken notes from the Savannah Bananas, which fun time. I've heard awesome things. I'm trying. I've been mentioning my friend Stuart. I'm trying to go when they come here because I heard it's fun.
And plus, I want to just see it at Ray J. Baseball at Ray J is fascinating to me.
But that's not Major League Baseball. And Rob Manfred going on a podcast, and by the way, good for that podcast. We're trying to get Rob Manfred on the show. We've been trying to talk about the Rays. But if you're that podcast, the Varsity Podcast, and you get, I mean, this has gone viral. Rob Manfred just going out there and throwing these ideas out there. It's pretty crazy from a league that is very traditional like baseball is.
It always has been, but recently, Rob Manfred's trying to throw tradition right out the window, along with that hunk of metal that he calls the trophy. I mean, it's just it's absolutely disturbing to me that you would even consider. I mean,
it's disturbing to you.
Yes. As a guy who loves baseball, I don't want to watch. I don't want to see something this gimmicky. I think it stains the sport.
That's disturbing.
It would stain the sport.
On the text line, not gonna lie, I kind of like it. That from the 813.
Gross.
They like it. They.
Gross.
Yeah, something that makes you sick.
How long should we make Leonard wait today? I feel like we should make him wait a bit.
Hey, Leonard, do you want to wait a bit?
Listen, I got a raise.
Yeah, you're going to wait a
does.
bit.
He does.
He's gonna wait a bit.
He sounds like he wanted to wait a bit.
Y'all be so mean to that man.
Oh, don't. Do not.
I get the annoying part, but like he's just a big fan, okay? Nothing wrong with being a big fan.
The guy came to an event and handed out Tijuana Flats gift cards at a restaurant that we were trying to promote them getting off the ground.
A different restaurant.
I get it. He means well, man. He means well.
He's just Gio.
He's a nice guy.
Listen, now I feel like a bully.
Big bully.
Oh, boy. Now
Gio.
you're going to make me do this?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't feel like a bully.
You know
We'll
what?
talk
Hold
to you
on.
later, buddy.
Yeah, hold on. No, we'll put him on hold. You can wait a little bit. We'll still take his call.
Yeah, I felt like
We'll
I
just
was
wait a
good,
little
and then
bit.
I went, nah, I don't feel bad
You
anymore.
heard his voice, and you were like, that's right. It is Leonard. Hey, Leonard, your kid's great, though, man.
Yeah, dude, we're not going to bully your kid. We'll just bully
your
you.
kid is amazing. We would talk to your kid probably right now.
Dude, I would have talked to him. I would have given him the next 15 minutes.
I wouldn't put him on hold.
No.
And just leave him on hold for a while.
That kid's awesome.
Yes, he is. All right, when we return, we've got some more fun we're going to have because we've got very important topics today. And, yes, we're going to continue to talk. We'll talk some Bucs football, and we'll continue to talk about the nonsense going on with the Pinellas County commissioners. These idiots are just driving me up a wall. But on the other side, another very important topic about sports and dog names. Have you named any of your pets after athletes? We're going to tell you some of the most popular dog names for 2024. You might be surprised which sport they come from. That very important topic next in the Pat and Aaron Show. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. Hang on, Leonard.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
From the Safe Touch Security Traffic
Pat and Aaron Show, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. It is a Waechter Wednesday. Doug Waechter will be with us during the 8 o'clock hour. We'll keep things a little light with him, too, because I know he doesn't want to probably whine and complain about the ballpark like we do. We'll get into that more at the top of the hour. Also, the Buccaneers, before we get into our very important topic about dog names, the Buccaneers bringing Kayvon Merriweather back. Of course, more injuries in the secondary, so that young man is back at safety for the Buccaneers. That move made yesterday. But Aaron sent me a story yesterday that I found a little interesting because, well, I didn't think basketball would be at the top of the list for new dog names in sports anyways in 2024. And apparently Brunson, which, by the way,
I love that.
That's a really good dog name, right? It sounds like a dog name more than even a basketball name in a way.
I love Brunson, only because I love the player. I'm naming my first kid Jalen Brunson Jacobson.
If you didn't know him and you heard that someone had a dog named Brunson, you wouldn't be like, that's just cool. It just sounds like a dog. It sounds like a cool dog.
And I
it sounds
feel
like a
like-
big dog. Brunson's got to be a big dog.
I was going to say there's a specific dog that looks like a Brunson. Can't tell you what it is, but I know.
It's a Rottweiler.
I would know when I saw the
A
face.
Rottweiler.
Something with a big head.
You know what a Rottweiler looks like, right?
I'm not sure if the Rottweiler is what I'm thinking in my head of the Brunson.
I am, yeah. Or are you thinking like a
Beethoven type of dog?
what was the one that wears the thing around its neck and with the booze?
Yeah, that dog.
Yeah,
That's
guy.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Brunson. And Wemby, another popular one.
Because and I think
That's not a fun. Don't name your dog Wemby.
Well, it's better than Wembanyama and Victor.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Victor Wembanyama.
Have you ever named your dog after an athlete? 888-546-4620. More importantly, the Bartow Ford DA text line is 82945. Start your text with DAE or we'll never get it.
I think there's specific, like I had a friend, a family friend, Howie Fuchs, who named their dog Corbett, or Wayne, after Wayne Corbett. A Jets fan. Loved Wayne Corbett. So if you have your team and you have
say
your
his name very interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say Corbett. I thought it was Corbett.
Corbett, whatever. Either
Okay.
way. That's how I always, as a kid, it was always Wayne Corbett.
You say, you know what? It sounds like you're saying Corvette with a B.
He always, so if you have a specific guy on your team that is your favorite player, I totally understand that. But the one I don't get, like if you're a Knicks fan right now, Jalen Brunson has brought the Knicks from oblivion to a real contender here. Contender for the NBA Cup in-season NBA
I
tournament.
know. They're 4-0 in the Cup, right?
Quarterfinals.
Oh, boy, very exciting.
But like this one made me sick. People are 32%, it increased by 32% people naming their kid or their dogs Bronny. Not after LeBron James, but after Bronny James, who is LeBron's son. That guy has done nothing. Why
weird.
Unless you just really like the name Bronny, which I don't think is specifically a great dog name or name at all.
It makes me think of paper towels.
Sure. I could see that.
On the Bartow Ford DAE text line, someone says they have a 130-pound Rhodesian Ridgeback named Jameis. Also said someone texted in, I don't know if I believe this one, but it's funny. Not named after an athlete, but I did have a frog named Pond, James Pond.
Somebody has a boxer named Tyson.
I like that.
That's legit.
That's smart.
And that's
another one
legit.
named their dog Kobe after Kobe Bryant.
Think that boxer named Tyson has ever taken another dog's ear off? It would be
Probably not.
It would be very par for the course.
So obviously you guys know that my cat is named Rhonda Meowsy. She is named after an athlete. She's the only one of my dogs that have been named after an athlete.
She's a cat.
I'm sorry, animals. Yeah, she is a cat. But she's kind of like a dog, man. She's a tough.
Everybody says that about their cat.
Yeah, she's tough. That's why I call her Rhonda Meowsy, because she kills things, a lot of them.
See, this is why I knew. A lot of people texting in, they've got a pet named after their player. I'm Allstott. That makes sense. A lot of people, A-Train fans, would name their kid Allstott, or maybe Brooks, or maybe Sapp. Maybe.
Also, to the person complaining about the segment, we've gotten a lot of texts about just this. Cal Ripken. An English Mastiff named Ripken after Cal Ripken. Dog named after Mookie Betts. English Bulldog named Allstott. I like that.
He named his dog Mookie after Mookie Betts. We had a Mookie Wilson.
That's right.
So we had one, and Clyde Frazier.
All right.
Clyde was Clyde Frazier.
So other than my cat, which is Rhonda Meowsy, do you know what the rest of my animals have been named after?
Italian, like you got Olive.
It's not.
What are they named after?
It makes sense, though, because Corrado.
Yeah, like I'm
Right.
thinking something Italian.
No, they're all television characters.
Oh.
Corrado, Jonas, Olive.
Corrado is
Corrado Soprano. Jonas, there was a show called The Unit about like a special operations unit, and the leader of the unit was a guy named what's his first name? Something Haysbert. He's played the president before. He's got a real deep voice. Can't remember what his
I don't
first-
like playing this game with you.
Sorry, well,
We played it a couple times this morning, and I've been lost.
but he went by the name Jonas on that show, and then Olive is her name was Olivia on the show. I can't remember what the show was called. It was like a sci-fi show, actually, kind of. So
We've got a couple people on the text line who have named their animals, their dogs, after Jameis Winston.
I know.
It's got to be a little awkward. Rough night for those dogs the other night.
A black lab named Puck. Pets shouldn't have people names. All right, that's fair.
Pets should have whatever names you want to give pets.
Yeah.
Pets shouldn't have people names. Like if I saw a dog named Pete, I'd be like, that's cool. If I saw a dog named Rick, I'd be
I've
like,
seen
cool.
dog names Pete.
Who's?
I think I've seen dogs named Pete.
Rick, Scott. Well, I don't know why
Wasn't,
I went Rick, Scott together. That was weird. I didn't mean to do that. I promise people.
Why am I drawing a blank on the guy from Game Day? And he's doing Thursday Night Football now.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Thank you, Curb Street. His dog was named? It had a dude's name, didn't it?
I feel bad for forgetting that. That's like the most famous dog ever. Just passed away.
Did you see the piece on the dog?
It was beautiful.
Did you see Herbstreit like trying to go into the piece and he couldn't do it? I've never been a Kirk Herbstreit guy. In that moment, I was like, I love this dude.
I mean, he was working through that. Like that happened.
He was a mess.
Yeah, man. It was that was tough to watch.
Which,
but
like, normally I wouldn't respect as much as I do, but because it was about his dog, I had so much respect for it.
Ben,
See?
Ben.
Ted is in Parish. Good morning, Ted. Gio, hold on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hang in there, Gio. What's up, man?
Good morning.
Big Poppy.
Ah, all right.
What you named your dog Big Poppy? What kind of dog is it?
Yeah, my son's did. He's a Massachusetts Terrier. No, he's not Patrick from Massachusetts. He's a Boston Terrier.
What was that? It felt like you just corrected yourself within the same sentence. Say that all again, like what you meant to say.
All of it?
Is that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Was that what you meant to say? I guess it was.
I did, yes. I was playing. He's a Boston Terrier. He eats everything just like Big Poppy, obviously does.
Does he have a big entourage and is he a pain in the ass?
Oh, man, he's 10 and he still runs all over the place, jumps on everybody. Fantastic.
Nice.
All right, fantastic. Hey, Ted, thank you for the phone call. Good point on the Bartow 4DA text line. I can't believe somebody realized what I was talking about. Yeah, Olive is for Fringe. Have you ever seen the show Fringe, Aaron?
No.
It was really good.
It's on the Fringe.
It was really, really good.
On the text line, my dog's name is Gregory after Randy Gregory. I hope not. I hope that's not a new dog. I hope that dog's at least 5 or 6 years old.
Even then, though, like, why would what did he ever do to warrant that? Also on the Bartow 4DA text line, this is just mean. Do dogs named after Jameis Winston sometimes play fetch? Great. And sometimes get the toy and give it to another dog instead of the owner.
Yeah, they're nice dogs, just like Jameis. He wants everyone to win. He wants everyone to thrive, even the other team.
I showed Heidi the video of him praying to Jesus to be delivered from pick sixes.
It was when I saw that, I literally, there's not a lot of things that will make me laugh at home by myself. That was one of them where I saw that, I heard that, and I was laughing going, oh, Jameis.
All right. We've got a lot to get to in the 8 o'clock hour, including Leonard. Hold on. Aaron's going to take your call at some point in the top of the hour. Leonard, you're leading off the top of the hour at some point after the top of the hour.
It's not leading off at some point.
At some point, yeah,
We'll get you.
Aaron is definitely going to take your phone call, Leonard. I promise you, after the top of the hour. But first, listen, if you're waiting on hold, Leonard, and as you're waiting, you realize holding the phone to your head, your elbow's really bothering you. And you realize that you played too much tennis and you get tennis elbow. Maybe your knee's bothering you just standing there, Leonard, waiting on hold. Whatever it is, good news, bud. You don't have to go far to get great orthopedic care because you get it right here in your own backyard with Florida Orthopedic Institute in connection with Tampa General Hospital.
Is it just tennis where you get tennis elbow from?
I don't even want to know where you're going.
Listen, no, I wasn't going that. Dude, get your mind out of the gutter there. Listen, clearly we don't know, so that's why we'll put it on the list. We'll ask our doctors. It's something to think about. You never know what pain issue you're dealing with, and if you are.
Why isn't there pool elbow?
From like swimming?
No, from playing pool, you use your elbow a lot.
Okay. Well, golf elbow?
Fair enough.
A lot of elbow questions we have. And if you have an elbow question yourself, to access that world-class orthopedic care right here in Tampa Bay, call 1-800-FL-ORTHO or go to floridaortho.com.
What about soccer knee?
Tampa Bay Sports Radio, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
We first talked to Vince.
Mr. Donovan, we got a big hour ahead. We got Jerome Bettis, the Bus, the Hall of Famer. Big golf tournament coming up here.
One of my favorite running backs, and you know why.
Big guy. You love the big guys.
I love fat athletes.
Will you mention it to him?
I will.
Of course you will. You can't help yourself. You can't help yourself. Jerome Bettis, the Bus, Hall of Famer, is going to join us in just a few minutes here. And then we're going to have Bailey Adams. We're going to have a conversation with him about the Bucs. So we got a lot to get to on the football front. We got over-under at 7:45. But news out of the Rays, news out of the baseball world, news on the stadium. Before we get to that, out of the winter meetings next week, in advance, we've heard some news from John Morosi of MLB.com on Twitter, X. He tweeted out, Rays pitcher Jeffrey Springs and Pete Fairbanks are among the Tampa Bay Rays pitchers garnering trade interest in the days before the winter meetings.
It's interesting because they've got to do something to bring in bats, and they do have an overwhelming amount of arms, but...
Do they? Because we know these arms get hurt. We know we're going to have Taj Bradley, Drew Rasmussen, and the big Shane McClanahan come back. But after that, you know, I still think you need a guy like Jeffrey Springs because one of those guys is going to get hurt. It's a numbers game. Just happens.
I wouldn't be in a rush to trade Springs.
I wouldn't either. But that's the news on that. But on the stadium front, we've got another Pinellas County commissioner that is trying to shake the tree here, and he is the new county commissioner, Vince Nowicki, who just joined the board after the recent election.
Is he shaking the tree, or is he digging it up out of the ground? He's killing the tree. He's killing the tree.
He's trying to plant a new tree. And here's what we heard.
It's a stupid tree.
He's going to be meeting on today with the Rays about the new stadium deal. And they've been going back and forth and back and forth. And Nowicki, one of the two commissioners to recently join the board, he, right now as it stands, will be a no vote. He will be a no vote. The Rays believe in both of those commissioners are no votes on the bonds for that new $1.3 billion stadium.
It's such a joke.
Now, Nowicki is saying, the new commissioner Nowicki is saying the deal can be saved, but not in its current form. So he wants to get behind closed doors, have some conversations with the Rays, and try to get himself to get to a yes vote. But if you go back to the table, the only way you're getting a yes vote out of this guy Nowicki is if things change in the favor of Pinellas County and the city of St. Pete. And I don't think the Rays want to go back to the table to something they already negotiated, already celebrated, and to be quite honest, they shouldn't have to.
No, they shouldn't have to. And it's absurd. And what you're talking about, here's the quote, I don't think we've looked through the lens of putting residents first. So I'm excited to have the opportunity to truly be representing the residents to make sure the residents get a fair deal. All I hear is, this deal in place has nothing to do with me, and I need my fingerprints on it because I'm important and I need to be part of this. Give me a break.
I don't mind if you push the meeting back like the county commission did to try to get some information together as far as what you're going to do about the hurricane.
Because they haven't had long enough to deal with that.
Well, what you're going to do about the hurricanes, which, you know, October was a really tough month. October and November were tough. So the trop is done. It's ruined. They've got to figure out what they want to do. And I think that taking a little bit of time.
Should those two things be connected?
Well, here's what it is. Eventually, no, they shouldn't. Like, you should be able to your point or your question, you should be able to stay with what you had already agreed upon with this stadium and deal with the hurricane issue. Still deal with it. It's going to be tough. But even though it was the worst we've seen probably in our lifetimes as far as the hurricane season, you have to be prepared for that. Every county in the state of Florida has to be prepared for a terrible storm season like we had. You have to hope it doesn't happen, but it happened. And if you're not prepared for it, if you're not ready and you come up like they have been being like, well, we don't know, we got to figure this out, you screwed up. So I put a lot of it. And I'm leaning more now when I hear guys like Nowicki and Latvala early on in this thing, they come out, and I agree with you. I don't know what their motive is, but I don't love it. And I'm putting more of it now. This is a swinging pendulum in my eyes of where the blame goes. And now it's more so on the side of the Pinellas County Commission.
Yeah, they've screwed the pooch on this thing badly, and I don't see how it recovers. And that's scary as hell, because as much as I want it in Tampa, and I know, look at you, you're grabbing your phone right now to text
I'm an
Ken
idiot.
Hagan, aren't you?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Did my alarm go off?
Well, listen.
Maybe it did.
He's texting Ken Hagan right now, take the Rays. And we'd love to see Tampa take the Rays. We'd love to see Hillsborough take the Rays. I don't think it's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen in St. Pete, it may not happen in Tampa Bay. And that's what I'm scared of. And I never thought we'd be here, especially after the damn announcement for the politicians to go up there and join the Rays, who, by the way, they're not backing out of the deal. They're not saying they don't want a new ballpark. For the politicians to sit there and join the Rays and celebrate this whole thing with the idea that it can just be reversed a few months later by a couple of schmucks, I think it's absolutely absurd that two guys could have this much power. The two people in all of Pinellas County could screw up this entire thing that so many people have been working on for so long. It's absolutely disgusting. And anybody on that Pinellas County Commission that votes against it, they're disgusting. And I hope they are never voted for again, not by a single person.
Definitive statement. I love it. I love it. And I agree with you 100%. And I think that Nowicki's a little naive to think that he says he thinks the Rays will renegotiate because they can't get a stadium built anywhere else in the Bay Area. You sound like a jerk when you say that. You sound like you're
it's
a power
the same thing
Latvala
did, because I watched some of that stupid county commission meeting the last time they delayed the vote, and I saw Latvala sit there and be like, well, it's not so easy for them to leave, you know. It's not going to be easy for them to leave. So that's their whole standpoint is hold this up as long as you want. Take forever. It doesn't matter. We don't need to get this done because it won't be easy for the Rays to leave. What a couple of jerks.
Just got a retext from Ken Hagan. Tell Pat to keep the faith. Oh.
Wow. What's Ken Hagan not have my number?
Oh,
Ken Hagan, you son of a bitch.
I texted him. I was the one that said take the Rays. I gave him that text.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Ken Hagan.
Take the Rays. How about this? Take the Downs, Tampa Bay Downs. Go out to Tampa Bay Downs. Live it up at the Downs right now. And today, what is today? It's Wednesday. And what does that mean?
Waechter Wednesday.
Waechter Wednesday.
And free admission.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
baby.
Admission is free on Wednesdays at Tampa Bay Downs. Gates open up at 11 a.m. this morning. Post time around 12:15. We got a big couple days ahead of us, people. It's free today. Also, December 7th, $125,000 inaugural stakes, the Sandpiper Stakes. Big opportunities to win money at Tampa Bay Downs. It's off Racetrack Road in Oldsmar. Go out there with your friends. Have a good time. You're out there and you can't experience the thrill of the best live thoroughbred racing around unless you are out there. It is Tampa Bay Downs. Check it out. You can see their schedule as well online, tampabaydowns.com. I know you'll see me out there throughout the season. Live it up at the Downs, tampabaydowns.com. On the other side, it's time for the bus. Hall of Famer Jerome Bettis joins us next.
Hold on, Leonard.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
From the Safe Touch Security.
Or you can check him out. Bailey Adams joining us now. Bailey, do we expect now? I mean, they're on a 2-game winning streak. They just got by Carolina. They squeaked by. We know that there could be a possible egg to lay. How do we feel, Bailey? I mean, Pat and I feeling much better. Where are you at with this team right now?
I'm feeling a lot better. I think, winning back-to-back games kind of maybe gets them back in the right mindset after losing, 4 or 5 in a row before the bye week. And I think this is a Raiders team that obviously just played the Chiefs very tough. They play a lot of teams very tough. So I don't think it's going to be a game where the Bucs go out there and blow anyone out. But I think this is another one that the Bucs should win and, get themselves up over 500 for the first time in, I think, over a month and a half.
Were you as surprised as I was to see the name Ryan Neal added to the practice squad, Bailey?
Maybe I shouldn't have been, just considering where everything has been this year with the secondary and with all the injuries. But, yeah, I was pretty surprised to see him back. It was a name that I thought had been kind of put into the past after last year. And, things, I guess, desperate times, desperate measures. And, we'll see if they have to call upon him.
Yeah, weird things are happening this season, guys. I mean, we're talking about now we're bringing in Ryan Neal. But the Camarda thing, Bailey, is still bizarre to me. Camarda falling off the face of this earth as far as, I guess, the ability when the guy was so stable at the end of Tom Brady's tenure and era. He was so stable for this team, sometimes the best player on the field for them, which should never happen. And then you turn to Gill, who was awful and has found himself off the team because of it. So I find it all to be very bizarre, some of the roster moves and what's happened.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think even at the time, I know that there was some frustration with Jake Camarda, but I don't know. It never felt like it rose to the level of needing to replace him with Trenton Gill, because in the few weeks that Trenton Gill was activated from the practice squad and playing over Camarda, he didn't do anything that made me feel any more confident in the punting game. And I think, he kind of got by, once they made that move official. And, this past Sunday, you can't really have performances like that. And I think it nearly cost them the game. The 22-yard punt was one thing, and then kicking the ball short of the landing zone and giving the ball at the 40-yard line. Those are two, major field position issues that you just can't have from your punter. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next, because it's been strange.
We saw on Sunday when the rubber really hit the road and the Buccaneers knew they needed a touchdown, it became the Bucky Irving drive, and really he led them all the way down the field for a touchdown. And my first thought in that moment was like, why did they wait so long? Why did it take until, it was a desperate time to go, you know what, let's really lean on Bucky Irving? Do you think they start to, earlier in the game, realize that, you know what, maybe the entire offense can be more effective if it really is Bucky Irving at the focal point of this offense?
Yeah, I think, Liam Cohen's done a fantastic job this year, and I can't take anything away from that. I was a little bit confused, I think, just from the start of the game plan they had. I know they weren't running the ball as efficiently as I thought they would, but I think, Carolina's run defense is the worst in the league.
Yeah.
So, on a day where Baker Mayfield doesn't have his best, he's thrown 2 picks. He hasn't been as efficient as you'd like him to be. I am surprised they didn't kind of lean on the run a little earlier. And, even you look at Rashad White's game, and Rashad White, his average, I know it was helped by that long run there at the end, but I think both running backs were a key reason for that offense kind of getting going there at the end. And going to them a little earlier maybe would have changed some things.
I think Baker over moxies sometimes. I'm realizing that. I think the 3rd and 1 where he decided to put himself back in the game, and then they decided to throw the ball coming off of where he thought it described as like he thought his Achilles popped. Oh, I think that we can call that over moxie.
Yeah, I was puzzled by that. I thought, 3rd and 1, you're running the ball. I think at the time, Rashad White had been averaging over 5 yards per carry. I think Bucky was around 4 at the time, and you need a yard. And your quarterback just, like you said, he described it as a popping feeling in his Achilles or his ankle. And I don't know. I didn't get the drop back and let him throw there. I think you just push forward for a yard and keep the drive going. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of what you get with Baker Mayfield, I think. I think he's always – it was kind of from the way the injury looked, it looked pretty bad. And, to quickly see him back on the sideline with his helmet on, ready to go back in the game, that's kind of where you felt like, yeah, they're not going to keep Baker out of this game.
Can you have too much moxie, guys? Is that a thing?
I don't know, man. I think there's times where it can get out of control, but I think as far as what you mean to a team and the guys in the locker room and your fan base, I think I don't know if there's a limit.
I say push it to the limit.
Yeah. I don't know. I get really nervous sometimes. All right, we never get nervous with you, Bailey Adams. Bailey, apologize. It had to be a little short this we had Jerome Bettis. We had a Hall of Famer on before you.
Yeah, no, I think sometimes I have like pinch me moments, and to see the schedule and see that I was coming behind on the schedule behind Jerome Bettis, I was like, those two names don't look like they belong together. But I appreciate you guys.
No, I like them back and forth, right next to each other. At Bailey J Adams 22 is where you can follow him on Twitter. Great follow on Twitter at Pewter Report. Thanks, Bailey. We'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bailey.
Over under coming up in just a few minutes.
That's right. But listen, you might be thinking about over under on your bills sometimes. You might be looking at over under how much money you have in the bank versus how much money you've got to pay out every month. We know inflation has been bothering a lot of people the last couple of years, and sometimes your pay, it's not going up with all of that inflation. So if you're in that situation where you're a homeowner and you're having trouble kind of getting by with the bills, it may be time to look into the equity in your home as an asset and think about a cash out refinance. If that's the case, you definitely want to talk to our friend John Howard. But like a lot of you, John Howard was impacted by Hurricane Helene, and whether it was Helene or Milton, we know a lot of people right now, they're looking into renovation loans or construction loans. If that's you definitely want to talk to our friend John Howard. Nobody knows the industry better than him, and nobody knows what it's like going through a hurricane because he's doing the same thing right now. And if your home was damaged by that storm, you might be able to get it back to even better than before with products that can work right alongside your insurance payments to help you get back there. So again, if you're dealing with all that, if you're trying to get back on your feet after the hurricane, talk to somebody you know you can trust, a local guy like John Howard, and somebody who's going through the exact same thing so he understands everything you need. Over under coming up on the other side. It's the Pat and Aaron Show.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
the Pat and Aaron Show. But also, you can win tickets to the Pro Cup happening December 12th to the 14th at Innisbrook Resort in Palm Harbor. And you get to watch legends like Jerome Bettis, John Smoltz, Jeremy Roenick, who we'll have on the show tomorrow. So we're going to have a lot coming up here, but you can win the tickets here, and they're going to be challenging each other like never before. And the way to get those tickets, register now at 953wdae.com. Over under time, KC Warner.
Conference championships this weekend in college football. I, for one, am very excited for Friday night. Over under 2.5 upsets this weekend in those games.
Got to go over. First of all, you think your Western Kentucky team can get the win, right?
Of course.
They're underdogs.
Yep.
Throw them in there. I think Army can get it done against Tulane. 5-point underdogs. Throw them in there. I absolutely think Rocco Becht and Iowa State can get it done against Arizona State. Throw them in there. And why not Clemson over SMU?
Okay.
Could be a bunch.
Yeah, you said 4 of them can. That means at least 3 of them have to. I'm going to take the under. I think that while it's possible, it's not probable. I will take the under in this one.
Okay, next one. Tomorrow night, we got a big NFC North matchup, potentially division deciding if the Packers were to upset the Lions.
Rare good Thursday night football matchup.
Right.
We've had some good games this
Recently,
year.
yeah. In the past month, there have been some better ones. Over under 51.5 total points in Packers at Lions tomorrow night.
Over. Yeah, over. These teams can score. Certainly the Lions can score with anybody. And Green Bay's, I know Green Bay's defense has been playing well, so that'll make it tougher, but I just think Detroit can score with anybody. I'll take the over in this one.
I think Jordan Love's going to have to play catch up at some point because Detroit, they can score even though Green Bay's defense is good. Jordan Love's good for at least probably an interception. He seems to throw one every game, even though he's scaling back on that. But he fights back. Like, that offense is constantly fighting back. I'm going to go with the over as well.
Current over-under on that one is 51.5 on the Hard Rock Bet app. Put your bets in on there. Next one, over-under 14.5 points allowed for the Bucs against the Raiders on Sunday. Vegas has scored under 15 3 times this season. Could it be their 4th?
Over. I mean, listen, what we just saw last week from them, how can you not look at that team and think that O'Connell can do what he needs to do and get them to, what did he throw for?
340 yards, 340 against
a
very good Chiefs defense.
Yeah, so against a bad Bucs defense, I'd have to think that they're going to score more than that. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, I'll take over as well for that exact reason. They're going to score. The Bucs are going to have to score, and I think they will. I think they'll score more than Vegas. I think they'll win the game, but if O'Connell can throw for 340 against Kansas City, he's going to have some success against this Bucs defense.
All right, next one. We saw what Bucky Irving did last week. He may get over 1,000 rushing yards, but Rachaad White has been doing it on both ends, receiving and rushing. He is currently averaging 65.6 yards per game with 722 total scrimmage yards. So over under 999.5 yards from scrimmage for Rachaad White at the end of the season.
I'll take the over, even though I think we're going to see more of Bucky Irving. I still think the offense is just incredibly productive. I think we see a lot of that 21 personnel with both of them in there. And I just think that at the end of the day, this offensive line, like we've talked about, is just scratching the surface. And I had a lot of pushback on a post about it the other day, like, oh, they gave up 4 sacks. Like, watch the football game. That's one of the best offensive lines in football. They didn't give up a single sack against the New York Giants, as good as they are as a pass rushing team. Like, this offensive line is just starting to scratch the surface of how good they can be. They're getting better every game, and I think the offense is going to be incredibly productive because of it. So I'll take the over.
I want to take the over, but clearly, and I'm, like you said, watching these games, you watched Bucky last week. You saw the disparity in the touches, and of course, the hot hand. You go with the hot hand, but I think Bucky's always going to be the hot hand. I think we're going to see Rachaad White around maybe 10 or 11
He's
carries.
also dinged up, though, so if you get ahead, you're gonna let Rachaad carry the load a little bit.
Or Sean Tucker.
Yeah.
And I think they need to utilize Sean a little more and really let this thing become a 3-headed monster.
Yeah, it's not happening.
They will here and there. I think they'll give him touches. Like, a couple games he'll have no touches.
But not significant touches.
No. But I think either way it will take out of the touches that Rachaad White gets. I'm going to go under, even though he's going to have success. Also with Mike Evans back, extremely balanced offense now. Much more balanced.
Yeah, speaking of Mike Evans, his 1,000-yard streak is in dire jeopardy. We got 5 games left, and he needs to average 96 yards per game to end the season with 1,000
That's 3.5 yards better than it was a week ago, dog.
It is. So
not going to happen.
Over under 999.5 yards receiving for Mike Evans at the end of the season.
It's not going to happen.
Over.
Wow.
Over.
Wow.
They find a way, man. Listen, he is the weapon in this passing game when it comes to the wide receiver position. Other guys are going to make plays. Baker completed passes to 11 guys the other day, right? But Mike, what do you have? 8 for 8, 118 in that game. I think we see a lot of performances just like that down the stretch.
He's going to have a 200-yard performance.
No, he doesn't.
Or near it, yeah.
He's going to, because he's not getting 100 every game.
I bet he's right around there.
All right. Well, I just hope it doesn't impact this offense. I'm going to go under.
It impacts it in a good way. You saw what happened this week.
Yeah, but you want to make. You're right. If they can make that happen, and then defenses aren't blanketing him, you don't want to force feed the ball into Mike if it's a bad pass. I'm going to go with under. I hope it's over, but just the way things are trending, it's not going to go over.
Yeah, not looking too confident in that one either, me, Aaron. So, over under 11.5 years on Juan Soto's contract. He will reportedly sign this week with a new team, or maybe the same team.
I think it's going to be over. I think we're talking about a 13-year or so, $600 million contract. I don't think it's going to be with the Yankees. I don't. I think he's going to sign with the Mets. I really do. I'm going to go over.
Of course.
That sounds like for 13 years, not enough money.
What is it, like $50+ million a year?
I think you're looking at more money than that. If it's that long. If it's that long. But either way, I'm going to take the over. I think he makes a ton of money.
And you make a ton of money by playing a lot of years. You got to sign a long-term deal if you want to make that kind of money. All right, there you have it. There's Over Under on the Pat and Aaron Show, brought to you by HowardTeamHomeLoans.com. And the Rhino Home Services, they know, and they're friends of the show. They know it's been a long year. They're going to continue to be here for you. They're going to continue to be here for the community. It's what they always do.
It really is. And you know what they do that you almost never see? When I read this testimonial, I was shocked. Elise said that Rhino actually surprised her by arriving early on the day of installation. You always get the window. Everyone's always late on the window.
Always
not Rhino. They actually showed up early. They had 3 eager young men there to put their house in order with their new gutter, and they're absolutely loving the results. And again, they were shocked that they showed up early.
That's the best when you have that, and that's why we say they're reliable. You have to rely on people, and we can rely on the Rhino Home Services. Reach out today at therhino.com. That's therhino.com, and let them put the gutters right in and where the water goes in the right place. That's what they're supposed to do here. The Rhino Home Services here for you, here for the community. Doug Waechter, Waechter Wednesday. It's back.
The Pat Aaron Show, 95.3 WDAE and AM 620. It's finally a Waechter Wednesday again. I feel like it's been 3 months. It's been a few weeks at least. Doug Waechter back in the bill. I think I missed his last Waechter Wednesday, so it feels like even longer for me. I think so. I don't remember.
You know what? The last two, it was just me and Aaron,
it's been a minute.
Me and AJ.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I missed me and you together.
Yeah, do you?
Sans Pat.
Yes, it was nice. That
the
time,
hell's that about?
The time was nice. Look at Casey in his little room over there. Looks like he's ice skating.
Hey,
got
what
a
do you
beanie
call?
on. He's got.
I was gonna say, what do you call it? He calls it a beanie too. You ever heard of a toboggan?
No. Well, I
No?
mean, a toboggan, isn't that something you ride?
Thank you.
It's a sled. Thank you.
It's
We
a
ride
hat.
those
It's
things,
what I'm wearing. It's a
No,
toboggan.
that's a beanie. Dude.
Okay, Doug.
Is that a Florida thing? Is that?
No, I guess it's a
Oh,
Kentucky
now even
thing.
Casey turned on me.
I didn't like the
Yeah.
way you said that.
Yeah, I
Okay,
don't either.
Doug.
It's I guess
Actually,
it's,
I didn't at first, but now I like it.
He's
I'm
very
glad
defensive.
Casey's getting involved with some of the sarcasm. Finally,
Yeah.
I don't have
man,
that
let's go.
chutzpah.
took you how long? Let's go, Casey.
How was Turkey Day?
Oh, dude, it was different this year because obviously we're displaced, right? So
Yeah.
we're not at the house. Typically, the Waechters get after it on holidays, right? And so we usually host, and we usually have 15 to 20 people over. And what I mean by that is my brother comes over at like 9 a.m. and we start like prepping the turkey with a Bloody Mary in hand, and
I
it
love
goes
it.
like the entire day.
I'm
right?
glad you brought that up. Now, how do you turkey?
So
You
we
know
do
what I mean
two.
by that.
We do two. I got this Primo grill, which is essentially like a green egg, right? And so we smoke one outside, and then we do a traditional one inside. And then sometimes we have friends who come over and they bring a different turkey. And so we got there's all year long. The only time I eat turkey is when I go get a turkey sub from Publix.
Did you?
Right? And outside of that, it's
Yeah.
like I don't eat turkey. And then on Thanksgiving, I just overload. But this one was different because we had a couple relatives come over. We're in a really small spot right now, and so we didn't have a lot of space. And so we only had a couple relatives come over. We did, the dinner, and this is the first time ever on Thanksgiving I can remember actually taking a nap after eating, right? Everybody talks about it. It's like, oh, man, I eat and then I take a nap watching football, and I've never done that because
How?
we've always had people over, and it's always like a party.
You
right?
sleep in front of those people.
Yeah, well,
I have
have.
mouth wide open. That's what I do.
you just don't care.
I don't care.
No.
Did you guys see Tom Brady eating the turducken?
Yeah.
I saw it, but I didn't hear what he was actually talking
He
about.
was like fake eating
Yeah,
it. The
I
guy
know.
can't even eat.
He ate some
He
of
took
it.
a
ate some
little
of it.
rip.
He's like,
Burkhart ripped into that thing. He's like, I want to get all of it. The turkey, the duck, the chicken, whatever it is.
You
the
think what-
They
turducken.
only had a leg.
He
You
took
can't get all three in the
he
leg.
nibbled it.
you think he was thinking of the ingredients when he was eating it? Like, oh my
Probably.
God, there's butter in this.
I
Oh my
also,
God.
and I also think, I think it's crazy to say, but I think he's kind of a guy that eats like a chicken wing with a fork and a knife.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I really
You're
do.
talking the best quarterback in NFL history eats chicken wings with a fork,
Fork and a knife.
Nah.
Maybe pizza too.
Nah.
was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't know, Tom.
Have you ever done turducken? Have you ever had a turducken?
No, that
So
sounds-
overrated.
It sounds disgusting.
You've had it.
Yeah, it's not good.
No,
I've
it sounds
seen-
It's
disgusting.
amazing. You just didn't have it made the right
No,
way.
you're wrong.
What holiday do you guys? Well, do you do Christmas? You don't do Christmas.
No, I do Hanukkah.
But that's like 7 days, right?
But
It's
he's also
eight, but
the
I-
Jolly Jew of Christmas.
Christmas is my favorite holiday.
Christmas is okay.
Yeah, favorite holiday.
Okay, is it because of the food?
It's because
Everything
of the
involved.
love. It's the love,
the
the
love.
festivities.
I feel.
No, dude, I do. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like the one time of the year where like everyone is nice to each other, no matter what.
You have to be.
You
You're
have to be.
forced.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's on the air right now. You can't be mad.
That's
is
it.
that what you're thinking?
Thanksgiving is a day. It's like it's the prep for being nice.
Yeah.
And then everyone, when the end of December hits, we're all finally nice, and we're coming up with all these fake New Year's resolutions that we know we're not going to actually do. It's a
True.
great time of year. I love Christmas.
What's your favorite? Which ones are your favorite?
Yeah, I like Christmas too.
Yeah.
I'm a Christmas
So
guy.
I like the food better at Christmas. We do
All
a
right.
prime rib.
Oh,
and we do, yeah,
wow.
we do it like right. It's awesome. So we do a lot of good food at Christmas. I used to like Christmas better, but the stress of like all the presents, you got to give stuff, you got to, everything else, it's starting to make me like Thanksgiving better because it's on a Thursday.
Yep.
You got the weekend. You have rivalry week on football. Like it's just it's laid out for you. Sometimes Christmas will land on like a Monday or Tuesday. Like
It's
random
early
days.
this year, isn't it? It's a Wednesday this year.
Yeah,
So, Doug, let's get into a little baseball here.
It's Waechter Wednesday that week, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what a mess.
Let's start, I guess, Pat, you want to start on the stadium, and then I want to get into some of the things here we saw from John Morosi of MLB.com.
Yeah, I mean, just the last time we spoke about the situation with the stadium and the Rays and St. Pete and the
we were celebrating.
no, the last time we talked about it, this stuff was starting to boil up again, and I asked you if you were nervous, and your answer was no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
I was pretty close to being with you. I am certainly more nervous today than I was then.
Okay.
Are you?
Yes, I'm nervous because 2 months ago we were celebrating in the streets because we had a new stadium coming, we had a new development coming, all these things were going on, and no one was really thinking it was going to go south. We've all been watching. I'm sure people are almost tired of hearing updates on what's going on. They just want to know the final verdict, if the stadium is going to be built or not.
Which isn't coming anytime soon.
Which is, I don't know. I mean, we got some votes coming up in December, it sounds like. There's some votes. But either way, they got to figure it out by March. All I know is, and all I can tell, and you could be on either side, who you think did what or who's coming across a certain way. It really doesn't matter. If the votes would have been voted on,
that's it.
We would have had a stadium. We wouldn't even be talking about this.
Thank you.
That's in my opinion. That's, that is the main reason that we are now in the situation we're in.
And it's amazing to me that a couple of random people that get voted into office can just blow this whole thing up. Something that's already been negotiated, something that's already been put in place. Like we talked about, and the Rays were right when they said it in their letter. At the end of the day, all of these votes that are coming up or were coming up, they were all supposed to be a formality at this point. Right. And the fact that now they're trying to pull the rug out from under them, it just makes me sick. I'm furious about it.
County Commissioner Vince Nowicki, he's going to be, who just joined the board, he's one of the members Pat was just talking about, recently elected. He's going to be meeting with the Rays today to talk about the new stadium deal. I hope, for his sake, he doesn't wear the sleeveless sweater vest that he wore in this picture.
About what he's wearing.
Yeah, you cannot go into negotiations
I feel like Doug
that.
would rock a sleeveless sweater vest.
Who was the coach for Ohio State that always wore the sweater vest? Tressel.
Oh, yeah.
Tressel is a sweater vest
guy.
So,
also, I know you won't get into this because you probably won't dive into this with me. I think those glasses that I'm looking at in this picture aren't needed. I think he's a guy.
Really?
He looks like a guy who's got 20/20 vision.
And he's just wearing them for show. Huh?
False glasses
He
guy.
looks good. Like I think it's a look.
You think it's a look?
I think he started wearing them.
Outside of I remember when it was big in the NBA to wear like fake glasses on interviews.
I always wanted the goggles.
Remember that?
Remember the goggles? I always wanted the goggles when I was a kid, like the Eric Dickerson goggles that also,
Did you really?
to an extent, Kareem Abdul. Yes, because I thought I needed glasses when I was a kid because I was lied to by an eye doctor.
What?
And, oh yeah.
What?
That's
How
the
does that happen?
greatest thing I've ever heard. The Pat conspiracy theory that he was lied to by an eye doctor.
I had my most recent eye doctor tell me that because I have astigmatism in my left eye. And no matter what you do, no matter what different lens you put in front of my eye, it doesn't impact it. It doesn't make my vision better. So to give me glasses was stupid because it didn't actually help my vision.
So your latest eye doctor told you your previous eye doctor lied to you.
Yeah, my eye doctor when I was a kid.
He said
So
you
why would a
lied.
doctor lie to you just so he can put
Sell
glasses
me glasses,
on?
I guess.
Wow.
Sell my mom the
sell
fresh ET glasses I had.
So I
interesting.
don't wear the sleeveless sweater vest. I don't know about the glasses. Listen, he could have horrible vision, and I would feel bad about that. Kind of.
Yeah. Are you going to take
Well,
it all
it
back
depends.
if you find out
He blows
really
the
does need
stadium
them?
deal for us, and I won't feel bad about his eyesight.
Exactly.
Yeah, I personally think they're going to find a way to still get it done. That's just my personal opinion. I have no inside knowledge. I have been following along with everybody else. I'm a St. Pete native. I'm pro-Rays. I'm born and raised in St. Pete. I pitch for the team. I'm on the broadcast team. You guys know where I stand. Keep them happy. Let's just keep them going and find a way to get this done.
Well, we've got a lot to get to with you, Doug, but also we're going to have you help us with something on the other side.
Okay.
We've got to call somebody and surprise them because they've won something.
Nope.
I don't want to get into too
Do
much
I know this
detail.
person we're calling?
You don't.
No.
But I thought you would. You don't have to help.
You're
You
just
can
an
hang
innocent
out.
bystander.
No, that's fine.
But I thought
I'll
you
call
might.
whoever.
I thought you might be
Bring 'em
excited along with them that they're winning such an awesome prize. So that's coming up on the other side, as well as, like Aaron said, a lot of stuff when it comes to the Rays and some potential moves that are being reported. We'll talk about all of that with Doug Waechter coming up on the other side. But Doug Waechter knows, because he was here right before Cinco de Mayo when our friends from El Bandito Yankee Tequila sent over one of their magicians. I'm going to call him a magician. If you tasted the margarita he made for us, you'd call him a magician too. If you want to make an unbelievable margarita or you just like a couple shots of tequila, make sure you try our friends at El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's so smooth, it's criminal. Make sure you check them out. El Bandito Yankee Tequila. You can find it at Lucan's and a lot of your best liquor stores. All right, when we come back, we're going to surprise somebody with a major award, and we're going to ask Doug about some potential Rays trades. It's all coming up on the Pat and Aaron Show.
WDAE.
Traffic update.
The 25th.
They're on the air. The Hanukkah starts on the 25th?
I think it
So it
starts
runs
on
into
Christmas.
Christmas.
Right on Christmas?
Oh, boy.
December
It does.
25th.
There you go.
Wow.
That's
a
perfect
big
for me.
week for you.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a lot of partying
I don't have to
for you.
hide to my parents that I'm celebrating on Christmas. I just say it's Hanukkah, but I'm actually just being the jolly Jew of Christmas.
All right, Casey Warner, let's dial up this number for this special person we are calling right now to let them know they are a major winner.
I used to hide unkosher foods in my yeah.
He
like
still
in
does.
No, I just open.
Hi, Tara.
Hi.
Hi, you're live on the radio. I need to let you know that. Very important. We didn't wake you up, did we?
She just perked up a little bit.
All right. Well,
No.
well, listen, we wanted to let you know you entered a contest for the Rhino Home Services and a brand new fully enclosed gutter system.
Yeah.
Well, you've won.
I need it.
You've won,
That's
Tara.
incredible. Oh my God! Thank you so much.
How bad would it have been if we called Tara and we're like, you registered, but you didn't win?
Have you ever
Yeah.
never done
Thanks.
that?
Thanks for your entry. Well, thank you so much for selecting me. I definitely need this after the hurricane, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Well, listen, they know the Rhino Home Services. They know it's been a really long year, so they're just thankful to be here for you and be here for the community. So congratulations and enjoy, and good job registering. It wasn't too hard, was it?
No, it wasn't. It's very easy.
And it's going to be easy from here on out, by the way, as well. You don't have to do anything. They're going to be reaching out to you. They'll set up the appointment, get out there and get everything taken care of. But on your end, you've got nothing else you have to do except for wait for a phone call to let you know that they're coming to set you up because you have won.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks to you and Rhino Gutters.
Congrats. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
How about the Rhino Home Services hooking it up ahead of the holidays?
I am so jealous of Tara. I need a gutter system. We are literally like shopping around for gutter systems right now.
Why are you shopping around?
I'm not,
when
that's
you've got
why
the
I'm
Rhino in
reaching
your
out to Rhino.
backyard,
Yeah,
Doug.
I'm going to reach out to Rhino. Do we have a guy?
We got a guy. We got a guy.
All right.
I know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah,
Who knows the guy.
I don't want your
I think
guy.
I gotta do something real nice for them guys for Christmas, dog.
That's pretty awesome. I want to know how that. I'm sure that system would be nice.
Let's ask you about that. It's Bucky Irving actually talking about how he wants to buy the offensive line something really nice for Christmas.
Good job, Casey.
But Bucky Irving, a 4th-round draft pick on a rookie deal. He's not exactly like a multimillionaire yet.
Right.
If you're Bucky Irving, if you're a rookie, you know money's a little tight still. You're just getting into the league here. You got to pay your agent. Like people don't realize how quick that money runs out.
Right.
What are you doing for the offensive line if you
I'll
got
tell
to do
you,
something on the cheap?
I love the gesture of it. So in high school, I went to Northeast High School. I was the quarterback. And when I was growing up, we didn't have any money. Like we just, not a lot of means, right? I still found a way that I would take my offensive line out for all you can eat pizza and make sure to pay for it. And I was like, in high school, dude, I didn't want to lay on my back after every time I dropped back. So I was like, man, I got to get
for
these.
that.
Was that like the $6
do you
at
remember
Pagino's or
do you
Pizza
remember
Hut or whatever it was?
CC's Pizza?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
CC's Pizza is all you can eat.
CC's Pizza.
Oh, dude. And we would go out there and we would walk in there and you could see the workers back behind just start sweating because I walk in with like 5 offensive linemen that were all like 300 pounds. And it was like a contest how much you can eat.
How much were the donors at the high school paying you?
Gosh, yeah. No
How much were the
NIL
boosters paying
money
you?
back
No?
then.
Just
No
checking.
NIL.
Good job. I was testing you.
Yeah. Bucky will find a way to get something done.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a gesture. They don't care. If he does anything, these guys will be like, man, I'll go to war for that guy.
Hey, Doug, I saw this from John Morosi of MLB.com. We got the winter meetings coming up. He said the Rays, Jeffrey Springs and Pete Fairbanks are among the pitchers that are garnering trade interest. What say you?
Well, I mean, look, those two are studs, right? You got Fairbanks, who is one of the better closers in the league when he's healthy. I mean, he goes in there and he can just dominate a game. Jeffrey Springs, he's on a favorable contract for a left-hander who can go out there and potentially win 15-plus games. I mean,
Through 2026, that contract.
Absolutely love Springs on the mound. I love them both on the mound. So I could see that, of course, they're both going to be garnering some interest. The Rays are going to do what they always do. They are going to listen no matter what. It's smart. It's a business model they have to follow, and they're going to go into these winter meetings. They're going to listen for everybody, and then they're going to make a trade if it's very favorable for them. And, most of the time it works out, at least for the Rays side, but a lot of times it works out for both sides. And so it'll be interesting because, I mean, with all the talk outside of the lines, everything else going on, the Rays still got to focus on trying to put together a better offense this year, right? They got to go in there. They got to get some bats.
That makes me nervous, too, is when we're talking about trading guys on the Major League roster today, typically we're talking about trading them for minor league prospects, which, by the way, they're already loaded with minor league prospects as it is.
Right.
And I'm nervous as a Rays fan because we know the kind of pitching staff they're going to have. Whether they trade a guy or two or not, they should have the best pitching staff, at least rotation, in baseball.
Yeah.
I do not want to see them go into next season with like we hope it can get by offense with that kind of pitching staff. And it worries me because, again, I'd be surprised if they trade guys and they bring in assets for today.
It just depends. It depends on the actual trade. It just hit me that if you're looking at guys that can, put together one good year for you, does it factor in that you're going to be playing at Steinbrenner instead of the Trop? And does the ball fly differently at Steinbrenner? I mean, I think that the Rays factor in every single thing they can, and they'll come up with the best options for their club, and they'll make a decision. But I do think they're going to be active this year, and I do think their number one focus is finding a way to get a little bit more offense. And if they got to give up some arms to do it, they will. Right?
I can't rely on them to do that, though, because they haven't been able to get the right bats in recent years. Well, they had the one.
That's why they have to bring in veteran bats.
And they had it for the one season a couple of years, 2 years ago, where they had that amazing historic start to the season. But you got to build the pitching, Doug, and you can't lose the pitchers you have. I mean, they've got McClanahan coming back. They got Rasmussen. They got Bradley. They got Pepio. You lose a Jeffrey Springs. I mean, I hate to say it. It's just inevitable that one of those guys is going to go down to injury at some point. Sure. Probably two.
Yeah, but you got to remember, now we have one of the top minor league systems in baseball, right? The trades they made last year bolstered their minor league club to where they have guys that they can move either at the major league level or the minor league level. And so it just depends who's out there, who fits the mold, and who they can give up, knowing that they're not going to jeopardize the next 3 to 5 years just to have one good year.
Yeah,
like they are at the point now where you cannot question when they make a trade. In my opinion,
agree.
There's a lot of other franchises where they make a trade and you're like, oh my God, what are they doing?
Completely agree with that.
And with the Rays, it's like, man, they must see something that no one else does because this guy's going to pan out.
I think what you can question is, will they be aggressive enough when it comes to building the lineup? And that's what scares me and worries me because I completely agree with you. I trust them on every trade they make for the most part. I may not like them when they happen. I may not like letting certain guys leave. I didn't like the idea of letting Randy Arozarena go. But at the end of the day, I do trust what they're going to bring back because they've done such a good job for so long. But I just worry, are you going to bring in the bats? Are you going to bring in the bats to really get it done? Yeah. Or are we going to be way too cautious and try to make that happen?
Well, it's going to look, no matter who they bring in, we're not going to be an offensive team. We're not offensive-minded. We are a defensive-minded team with one of the best staffs in the league. We're going to be built on pitching and defense going into 2025. I mean, you have to know that going into the season. Now, I think if they can go out there and consistently get 4 to 5 runs, they're going to win a lot of ball games.
Yeah.
They just are because their pitching is going to be that much better than everyone else's.
You have to have a great strategy, just like with your finances, right, Aaron?
That's exactly right. Trajan Wealth, they're here to help you with your finances, wealth management, retirement planning. That's what Trajan Wealth is going to do for you. They're here to help you reach your investment goals. And how they do that, they tailor the goals to your specific needs, and they'll meet them.
WDAE and AM 620, Doug Waechter in the building with us. It is a Waechter Wednesday. It's been way too long for a Waechter Wednesday. Good to have Doug back with us. Want to get into one of the worst ideas in the history of the world, and maybe definitely the worst idea in the history of sports, the golden at-bat, in just a moment. But I also want to ask you, the Rays, because they're playing at Steinbrenner Field, Major League Baseball and the Rays have worked to adjust their schedule. 47 of their first 59 games will be played at home, but 69 of their final 103 games will be on the road. Do you think, first of all, they need to stack wins early, right? With all those home
100%,
games.
100%.
But could it be an advantage getting off to a fast start potentially with all those home games, or could it potentially be a real disadvantage having to be on the road as much as they will late in the year?
I think if you can build up wins in the first half of the season, it's an advantage.
Right?
But you have to. I think you look at the schedule and you say you have to be very good in the first half of the season to give yourself a chance, right?
Which is
you
tough.
have to be a good home team to get in the playoffs. You have to win at home to get in the playoffs. And knowing that they have that many home games early in the season, the first half of the season, they got to stack wins.
If you start off hot like you did a couple years ago, historically hot, great, you've done your job. But if you start off slow like you did last year, then you're really beyond the eight ball, because before the All-Star break, they got a long road trip, and I believe they've got Minnesota, Detroit, Boston. That's a tough road trip. And then right after the All-Star break, not long after, they're going on another long road trip out west. That is going to be a gruel. And you're already, Doug, you're already tired at that point of the season. Like, that's that middle point, kind of the doldrums of the season. You're going to have to stack wins on the road, and that's challenging.
I think that the one thing that does play in favor is, look, these guys have a new home for a season, right? And most of them have only pitched at Steinbrenner Field sporadically at most, right? Maybe taken the mound a couple times, 2, 3, 4 times in their entire career on that field. So,
which is crazy, because that means I've played on that field at a competitive level more than some of those people.
Competitive? Were you competitive when you played on that field?
Yeah, because it was regionals.
Yeah.
That was regional finals.
Were you ever competitive? I want to see video. I want to see video of Aaron being competitive.
Fiery.
That doesn't mean you were competitive. That means your attitude was fiery.
Fiery.
I'm talking about, were you an actual good baseball player?
I feel like when you're built like Aaron, you're more sassy than fiery.
Yeah.
I was good.
Built like Aaron. I don't even know what that means. I don't think that's a compliment.
Have you seen Aaron in high school? He was sassy.
This is like the first time I've walked in here and there's not like a hot dog or something in front of him for breakfast.
What? How did I fall into this right now?
I don't know.
Sassy?
I look at you and I want to just start going sarcastic and making fun of you.
Good. I wasn't great. I was solid.
Above average? High school?
Above average. Didn't reach my potential.
Yeah.
That's my story of my life.
Well, you got screwed over by the coach at UT, right?
Yeah, Urso.
Ruined his career.
I'll never forget.
Ruined his career?
I'll never. Urso, if you listen, I know you've been on the station plenty. If you're listening, you didn't give me a fair shot. You didn't give anybody out there on that walk-on tryout a fair shot.
I'm pretty sure he's won like how many College World Series? Division II. Yeah.
I would have been. I would have rode the pine. I don't care. Just give me a chance. I'm a fiery guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sassy,
very
sassy guy.
Yeah. So going back though, look, these guys haven't really taken the mound. They haven't played at Steinbrenner Field consistently. I know, spring training, they'll have a handful of games there, right? But these guys, this is a new ballpark for all of them, essentially, and it's their new home, right? And so to have all these home games stacked in a row, at least it will allow them to get comfortable quick in a new environment, right? It's a new environment. They got to get comfortable. They got to do it very quickly because the season rolls on, whether they're comfortable or not. So these guys got to get out there. They got to get off to a hot start, which I think they will. But you're right. They do have to stack wins to have a chance to go into the postseason. They have to stack wins early because going on the road, no matter if you're flying first class, no matter if you're staying at the best hotels, it's a stretch. It is a long, long season. And to back end all those road trips, it's a disadvantage for any team.
Let's talk golden at bat.
Yeah.
Really?
Let's
is
talk
it the
golden
worst
at bat.
idea?
Wiffle ball.
Doug, is it the worst idea in the history of sports, or is it the worst idea in the history of ideas?
I think one of the worst ideas in the history of sports are when the Chicago White Sox wore shorts for a season. Did you see pictures of those? Do you have
Shorts and collars.
Shorts and collars.
Oh, yeah.
That
Classic.
was pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. Yeah, I mean,
how does it
golden
even
rule.
work?
I'm a pitcher. You're asking me if I want them to change the rule to where they can bring up their best hitter at any point in time.
It's a Savannah Bananas rule.
It is. That's where it originated
It came from the Savannah
right?
Bananas.
Yeah.
Now, I thought, Doug, and tell me, I don't know how this is going to work, and I know nobody really does, but do you imagine, like, if we were using Aaron Judge as an example earlier. Aaron Judge gets a base hit, or he walks, bases are loaded. Can you bring Aaron Judge from first base back to the plate?
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. I don't know. I think they're still trying to even they just toss this idea out there, and I think they're just trying to figure out.
How Manfred says there's buzz.
Yeah.
He says there's buzz among the owners about this rule.
Well, look, the owners and Manfred specifically are trying to get as much excitement around the game of baseball as possible.
This isn't going to do it.
I think So a couple years ago, when they shortened the game times down by basically pitch clocks and bigger bases, all this other stuff, I was skeptical on some of those rules, but it all worked out very favorably, and it worked out well because the pitch clock had to happen. The fact that we were getting 3.5-hour games consistently was brutal.
Yes, it was.
That's brutal for
that's
everyone.
Coming from you as
that's
a former,
coming from me.
Yeah.
I was analyzing those games, and
You
it's
love
brutal.
baseball.
And I love baseball, but you have to shorten the game. No one's going to watch a 3.5-hour game every single pitch. No one, right? And so you got to shorten it up, and that's what they did. Now it's 2.5 hours on average,
but
somewhere
that's
in
not
there.
gimmicky. This is gimmicky.
This is gimmicky. I don't like this one.
This is beyond gimmicky.
What I do like, I don't like
it's not baseball, man. The
It's
other
not baseball.
commissioners.
You can't take. Look, I get it. People want to adjust the game, and you need to adjust the game at a certain point to make sure it's kind of keeping up with modern day. But this is not the way to do it. Like, you don't just this would change everything. How would it change the record books? Now all of a sudden you got a guy who's going out there. He's getting, instead of 4 at bats, he gets 5 at bats, and he has the bases loaded in his 5th at bat.
It's a really good point as far as the record.
Right, it's going to screw up everything. So I don't know. I'm totally against it.
Me too.
I don't think Manfred's taking my call.
He's not taking ours either. We've been trying to get him on the air. He's not in. He's going on the varsity podcast.
He's got some stuff going on, so I'm sure he's a little busy right now. But
what do you mean he went on the varsity podcast? Casey just said he sent 3 emails to the man.
Yeah, well,
and now
directly to the commissioner. Is that how it works?
Yeah,
there's got to be a better way.
He's busy coming up with the plans that the golden at bat and telling people about that. That's not busy. That's ridiculous.
It is pretty
He
ridiculous.
looks like a different human being in there with the hat off. Look at him.
No, it's a toboggan.
The toboggan. I still don't know.
Somebody call me.
I still don't know where Casey's office is. Every time I look up there, I think he's the office right outside, like the entryway, and then I look in there and it's somebody totally different.
How do you not know where that is?
I don't know. I don't
It's
even know if
literally
he's
on
in
the other
building.
side of that wall.
Somebody called
Is
me
he?
bubble wrapped sass.
Actually, no, he's not. He's on the other side of this wall. He's behind me, basically.
If anybody here was going to be bubble wrapped, it would definitely be Aaron.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we had a whole.
There's a lot of text messages.
We had somebody
going on
make a
here.
cartoon about us once because Aaron wanted to bubble wrap Jameis Winston at one of his camps, and then we had a whole story about Aaron being bubble wrapped as a kid and his dad not letting him play baseball. And
once we start getting after me, that's when the text line they pile.
Yeah,
on.
it's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best. This is
we
what
do.
I missed. I was 2 weeks off. I got so much built up rage going toward Aaron.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of the best, our friends at Suncoast Credit Union, they are the best.
They don't bully me.
Segue.
They
Look at
don't
you.
bully me ever.
Get 'em,
They
Pat.
don't bully Aaron. They don't bully anyone. As a matter of fact, all they do is give back to the community. You hear us talk about it all baseball season long, but that's not where they stop. They're always giving back to our community. They're always giving back to you, their customer.
Bob Hyde is very nice to me.
That's right.
All right. He's at Suncoast Credit.
Although he
Union.
did text me one time to make fun of you.
Yes, I like Bob.
And they all do. At some point, they all hear me.
They all
know
turn
me.
on you.
They do. They just. I guess that's my face or my voice. I don't know what it is.
My face.
But I
That's
do
all
know
of it.
something. Your home's equity, it might be able to help you here. Suncoast Credit Union, they're going to help you out right now, and in a lot of cases, accessing the cash you need in 30 days or less. So check them out. They're here for you. Apply online today so you can make sure that they can help you out. They'll give you a personalized review of your application so you can get the best loan product for your needs. Suncoast.com/restore, RESTORE, Suncoast.com/restore.
Wrapping it up in the blender on the other side, it's the Pat and Aaron Show with Doug Waechter on a Waechter Wednesday on 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
WDAE
traffic update.
This report is sponsored by eBay.
A disabled truck on southbound 75 just before 60 in Brandon Center Lane. Blocked here. Traffic jammed up from I-4, but a crash just north of I-4. Off to the right-hand side, still causing big delays from south of Bruce B. Downs. Southbound 275 near Bush Boulevard. The right lane still blocked there. Seeing delays northbound 75 north of Big Bend Road. Crash off to the left-hand side there. Get traffic info around the clock by searching News Radio WFLA on iHeartRadio. I'm Randy Myers.
We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Listening on the free iHeartRadio app? Thanks to Farah and Farah, it's never been easier to send your opinions directly to your favorite show. When you open the app, click the red talkback microphone and hit send. Farah and Farah, here to make it easy, Tampa.
Deck your halls with New South Window. Keep your home comfy and save more on energy bills. Plus, every product is guaranteed for life. Buy 2 New South products before the end of the year and get one free. Visit newsouthwindow.com/radio.
T-Kraz here for my friends over at CMK Construction, where we've always believed that home is where the heart is. And this holiday season, after all the storms we've been through, it's the heart that brings us all together. From remodeling kitchens and bathrooms to refreshing spaces that matter most to you, we are committing to help you restore your home bigger and better and stronger than ever before. They've been doing this for 20 years, luxury products, quality install, and they've been recognized for it. Voted the #1 kitchen and bathroom remodeling company, according to readers of the Tampa Bay Times People's Choice Best of the Best Awards. Whether it's simply lending that helping hand or transforming your home, call on my guys over at CMK Construction, where for over 20 years, they take pride in the same neighborhoods we call home. So give them a call. Let's rise together, remodel together, and move forward together hand in hand. CMK Construction, proudly serving Tampa Bay and Sarasota communities. Call them 813-321-4426 or online at cmkconstructioninc.com. Together, we'll make tomorrow brighter.
Log on now to the contest page at 953wdae.com for your shot to beat the pro on the drive this Friday, where you could qualify for a 5-night stay in an oceanfront suite, plus airfare, food, and a free round of golf at the Buccaneer Resort in St. Croix. No passport required, just bring your A game. Hit up the contest page now and register to beat the pro on Tampa Bay's home for football. 95.3 WDAE and AM 620.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Win $15,000 in new impact windows from Reese Windows. Pick up your phone and text the word HAPPY right now to 20129. That's HAPPY to 20129.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Nothing says I love you like the gift of diamonds, a diamond pendant, a diamond anniversary band, a pair of diamond earrings. And around here, the holiday diamond destination is International Diamond Center. With our decades of experience, worldwide connections, and our legendary value, IDC is here to help make this Christmas the most unforgettable ever. Our showcases are filled with exquisite diamond rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Can't miss gifts with lasting value and beauty. From elegant diamond stud earrings
The Blender on the Pat Aaron Show is brought to you by Mazda of Clearwater. If you're thinking about a new or pre-owned vehicle, the choice is clear. It is Mazda of Clearwater. You go get yourself a Mazda 3 like me and Aaron and be part of the Mazda 3 Club.
That's right.
We're starting that up soon.
The Mazda 3 Club?
Yeah.
Love it. Who's
Casey,
the leader?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah. I got mine first.
He got it first.
Yeah, and then you followed along. It's like the P code. If we do the P code club.
Can you stop going back to the P
Setting
code?
trends.
Are you going P code for the Army Navy game? Is that what
So
you're
I
talking about?
bought one like years ago for Philadelphia for one of our Army Navy game trips.
This is insane.
And
that
the
this is
next
still a
game,
thing.
because you try to pretend you don't think I'm cool, but then you buy
you
the
start
same car
showing
and
up
same
wearing the
clothes.
same stuff.
Who pretended you weren't cool? I think you're very cool. What are you talking about? You're the man.
You're the man.
You're the man. Casey, you're the man.
Yeah, Casey, what we got, big guy?
Here's what we got. I got to talk college
Besides
football.
toboggans.
Yeah.
That's right. It's not on right now.
Who
but I
is
got
this
it.
guy with this hair? He looks like a different human being.
Dude,
I
do
even
you
got
like
it
the part
shorter.
down the middle? Look at Casey with the part down the middle
This is
going
just
both sides.
This is hat hair, so this isn't anything
Who's
special.
that? He looks like an actor.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He looks
like somebody.
I'll have you
Yeah,
know.
no, I know who it is. Okay, I don't know his name. The girls actually think he's a really good-looking actor. I think he's in
Harry Potter?
Ryan Gosling?
That's it.
Ryan
That's who I was going with. Yeah.
Wow, he's like,
I've really heard
was
Ryan
he-
Gosling before. I have.
Really?
Right now, he
Ryan
looks like...
Gosling.
Look at him
I
right
don't actually
now.
know who he is.
You
Right.
know who he is.
I
He's
probably
like,
know his face.
Right now, he looks like Ryan Gosling. The way he
dude,
looks right
Ryan
now.
Gosling was like voted sexiest man of the year one year.
That's
wasn't
why
he?
I feel weird
So,
saying it, but yeah, sure, you're
Here's
Ryan
the
Gosling,
funny
dude.
thing. My sides on my hair are the shortest they've been since I moved down here. I got a 3 or a 4 on the sides right before Thanksgiving going home, and I actually showed the picture of Ryan Gosling with this kind of haircut, and she did a great job.
All right,
That is funny.
Maybe we need to move that into HD so I can see it better.
I agree.
I don't see Ryan Gosling, man.
Dude, the fact that he just asked his haircut lady to give him a Gosling.
Give him the Gosling?
And then
That's
I
right.
just told, how great did you feel when I said you look like Ryan Gosling? Tell me. You
Amazing,
did.
No,
dude.
you
I
didn't
mean,
say.
I
Casey
heard it
said it and
years
you
ago.
agreed
But
with
that's
him.
what I was thinking. I was thinking
Were
of
you
Gosling.
really?
Yes, I was.
Have you ever used a picture of another man
No.
to ask for a haircut?
No. Never.
Okay.
I have.
Never.
Yeah, come on.
Actually, I take it back. When I was growing up, middle school, back in Saved by the Bell days,
Yeah.
it was always
Screech?
like, "Hey, give me the Zach Morris."
Oh, I thought you wanted the screech.
No,
I
no,
naturally
you got
had-
the screech.
Yeah, I was born
Dude,
with the screech.
Hey, Zach Morris kidnaps our friend Owen Harn's daughter on the next episode of Found, by the way.
Really?
spoiler
He's
alert,
still
dude.
acting? I didn't know
Well,
he was
it's-
still acting.
He's,
Owen or Zach?
Zach
Morris.
Yeah, Zach Morris is still acting.
He
He's
is, yeah.
done some good things. Wait, why'd you spoil that for everyone?
Because we've talked about it on the show.
Damn it,
Owen has
Pat.
talked about what the show is about, and like,
All right, the kid's getting kidnapped in this
yeah.
episode.
Like if
That's
you watch
happening.
Found, that's like basically what it's about.
I'm a lost guy. I'm not a found guy.
Well, I'll tell Owen Harn that you don't like his show.
No, I will watch Found. I will.
This has been my favorite episode of the Blender, by the way.
Let's blend.
Yeah, this is great.
Do we have any time to blend?
Yeah, let's
Sure.
get some serious stuff in here for a few minutes. I do want to talk college football briefly with Doug again because we only brought it up way earlier in the show. We got the college football playoff rankings as of last night out. Your first round buys are Oregon, the 1 seed, Texas, the 2 seed, SMU, the 3 seed, and Boise State, the 4 seed. Alabama sneaking in as the number 11 seed. You got any problems with these rankings, Doug?
I mean, I understand the way it goes. The conference champions, they're the ones who are going to get buys and, all this other stuff. It just, to me, I hope they eventually look at the 12 that are getting in.
Reseed them, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just crazy to me that Boise State and SMU are going to be penciled in for a bye.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. I mean, you put them against anyone else in that top 12, and they're not going to be favored in the game, right? And so
Probably not.
You need, and
so
yeah.
why are they getting a bye?
And my big
that's the strength of schedule doesn't play enough.
I think
into what this
Alabama
is.
getting in is more annoying and frustrating to me than that.
Yeah, but their strength of schedule, man. I mean, the strength of schedule from an Alabama compared to a Boise State and an SMU.
You
I
beat
mean,
Georgia.
it's not even close.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are sleeping on SMU.
I don't
People
think.
forget
First
that they're
of all,
an ACC. ACC wasn't great this year, but
right. First of all, I
SMU
think Clemson's going to beat SMU. I think
they might.
Clemson is going to get into this playoff. Dude, I went to a Clemson game here recently. That place is awesome, by the
So
way.
are you biased? Is the
No,
bias
no.
talking?
I just seeing them live. I'm like, man, you know what? This is a good football team. They had a bad loss at home. I think it was against Louisville.
No, they beat Louisville.
Who'd they lose to?
Or Clemson? No, Clemson. Yeah, Clemson lost to Louisville.
Lost to Louisville.
SMU beat Louisville.
Right,
He's
but
talking
they
about
lost to
Clemson.
them at Clemson, so they lost to them at home. And I think the only other loss they had was Georgia, the first game of the season. So I think Clemson's better than people think, and I think they're going to win the ACC championship.
Don't you guys find it interesting? And I don't think enough people are talking about the storyline. And because of the 12-team playoff, SMU, getting in and having a good shot here. This team in the 80s had the death penalty.
Oh, yeah. The fact they have a football team is crazy.
And without the 12-team playoff, it's a rare chance that SMU is ever going to find themselves in the conversation of the 14 playoff.
Right,
so
right.
To come from death
There's a lot
penalty,
of teams in that kind of situation that we would never see them in 14.
Yeah, but there's some nostalgia here, and it's kind of ironic that it took until the NIL deal to the age to come back.
That's funny.
It's a pretty good point. Yeah, it's a pretty good point. Either way, the 12-team playoff is outstanding.
Yes.
It is outstanding whether your team gets in or not, whether you like where they're ranked, whoever gets a bye, it doesn't matter. It's so awesome that you got 12 teams now that you can focus in on.
Just looking at that first round of potential matchups, you're like, oh my God, it's going to be amazing.
Oh, somebody just mentioned that, and they're right. Clemson did lose to South Carolina.
That just happened.
That's right. It was a third loss.
Yeah, I won money on that. It was awesome.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
good
had
for you.
South Carolina covering 4.5. Lost everything else.
That's the Blender on the Pat and Aaron Show, is always brought to you by our friends at Mazda of Clearwater.
I don't want to finish.
Yeah, this is fun.
Well, they make
I
us.
missed the last couple weeks,
Yeah.
man. This is a good time.
I know you really you unloaded all those weeks. You just took them together and you piled on.
2 weeks is too long because I had so much to get off my chest about you, Aaron.
Jeremy Roenick joins the show tomorrow.
Hey,
How
that's
about that?
awesome.
Yeah.
How about
that?
Go listen to the Jerome Bettis we had
I
on
heard
the
it
bus.
was really, really good.
Go listen again.
Okay. I'm on it.
iHeartRadio app. It's free.
I'm on it.
Click.
I'm going to go get a gutter system from Rhino.
That's smart. Smart. Congrats to Tara for winning hers. All right, that's all we have time for today. For Casey Warner in the penalty box, for Aaron Jacobson, for Doug Waechter hanging out on a Waechter Wednesday, I'm Pat Donovan. Thank you to the men and women who serve our country and allow us to be morons for a living.
We got our client Christmas party, Doug, in a few minutes. Are we dressed up
in
like
2 hours.
slobs?
I was hoping for peacoats.
Who's more slobby, me or Pat right now?
You got a nice jacket on.
Thank you.
It's a jean jacket. Are you bringing those back?
You don't like Army Navy?
Bring a lot of things back.
Members only? You're going to come back with a members only?
I'm going to put a patch on.
You're the only member.
Yeah, that's how I
gonna be
like it.
wearing it.
Nobody wants to join my club. I'm all alone.